Greetings from Overdrive, and thank you for tuning into this session that will cover how Sora supports student success with 24/7 reading opportunities. I am your account manager for Ohio, so I cover I work with all the schools that are in the state of Ohio and Pennsylvania and West Virginia, but I feel this session is going to be viewed by only people in Ohio. So if you're a current partner, hello, if I haven't met you before, I would be the main person that you're going to be talking to on the phone. If you are a school that's considering joining Overdrive and signing up for Sora, I will be your main point of contact. Fun fact about me, I own 4 cats with my wife, so some incentive to stick around because maybe one of them will pop through, or all 4, who knows? Okay, so quick background about Overdrive Education. So over the past year, we have grown exponentially with everything that's been going on. So right now, Overdrive partners with over 44,000 districts and schools worldwide. This number was at about 23,000 at this point last year. So we've almost doubled our the amount of schools that we work with. So real big testament to how important access to digital is becoming. So with this partnership, you get access to millions of ebooks and audiobook titles from thousands of publishers. Another fun fact about the Sora app, we were named one of Time's best inventions of 2019. And working with Overdrive, you have a partner in us. You know, we're not just a service for you, we're a partner. So we're going to be working through this this digital reading journey alongside you. So you will have a technical support specialist that will help you with any issues you may run into. You'll have a content specialist that will help with any title selection. They will essentially be your Overdrive librarian. And also you have access to training and marketing from our marketing team. So all of your needs, really kind of a 360 kind of service that we offer to our partners. So as I said, you know, student access to digital books is more important now than ever. We've all seen what has happened with schools around the world with the onset of COVID, and so, you know, it's important now. It's going to be important after too, but now is really when over the past few months, it's really been where access has been really key. So this is where we come in, and we're able to offer reading tools that are vital to creating that seamless remote learning experience, really giving your students 24/7 access, so you don't have to worry about how a student will be able to get their hands on the books that they need. So just to cover some tools for distance learning that are offered through Sora, we have direct integration with some common curriculum management tools. So you're even going so far as to work with your rostering software. There are exportable notes and highlights that are available through Sora. So if your student is reading a book, they can take notes, they can highlight particular sections of the book, then export that to themselves, to teachers. There are adjustable reading settings in Sora, so you know, students can ensure that they're reading at the most comfortable setting for themselves. There's even an open dyslexic font for those students that might have any sort of reading cognition issues. Also through Sora, you can define words, and with integration to Google Translate, you can also translate words or small phrases, small paragraphs as well. To talk about tools that aid remote instruction, Google Classroom is integrated into Sora and Marketplace, our administrative portal. So you can go through Marketplace, look through, select a title that you own, share that via Google Classroom. So it can go directly to your teachers, directly to your students. You can also assign titles directly to students, really answering that question of, you know, how do I ensure I am getting the right book into the right hands of the students whenever I want. Class sets and simultaneous use titles are offered through Marketplace, which can then be purchased through and offered through Sora. These are 2 lending models, obviously, that are very important to teachers and educators. And there's also individualized student reading data that is available through Sora and in Marketplace. So one of the most recent upgrades that we have made to Marketplace and to Sora, this is a big question for us within the past year or so, especially as schools started going remote, is, how do I see student level reading data? Well, you can now through Marketplace. So educators can access data for title assignments and class sets. Title assignments would be titles that you own in your collection that you are assigning directly to a student. A class set is a lending model you are essentially renting for a group of students. They will have it for a set period of time. Once that period of time is up, that title is then removed from their Sora platform. So who can see this data? It would be any person that created the assignment. So if you are a teacher and you created the assignment within Marketplace, you'll be able to access this data. And then anyone that has basically administrative access to Marketplace will be able to see this data and then also be able to edit assignments. So what is included in this data that is able to be seen in Marketplace? So student user ID, obviously, so you can identify who is who. The date the title was first opened. The date that the title was last opened, so the most recent viewing of that title. Number of reading sessions that student has participated in with the title, and the total time read. So I believe this is shown now as a percentage, which is important, so you can know kind of the progress that each one of your students is making through those books. So through this data, you have the option to save it as a time-stamped PDF, and also you can share this through Google Classroom through that integration that I had mentioned. So through Sora, you will have access to your school's digital collection, but also we can expand that access so you can access the books at your local public library, really opening up that breadth of titles that are available to your school. So, and this is kind of integrated all in the same service. So, when you go from Sora into the public library's collection, you're still within Sora, you're just bringing in those titles that are at the public library. So through this, you're able to now leverage thousands of age-appropriate titles. You're able to filter content based on access levels of students to ensure that students are still seeing age-appropriate titles. And what this does is it really removes those barriers of, students, how do I get students public library cards? So there is no more having to organize with the public library any sort of library card drive, sending a permission slip to a parent to fill out, any sort of that legwork that happens at the end or the beginning of the school year is really taken care of already, because your students will be able to access those public library materials through Sora just with their Sora login. So it eliminates the need for a public library card. And really this will inspire lifelong readers and your students. They'll have access to your school collection, but then be able to see what is available at the public library and just get comfortable with that aspect of accessing digital books from their public library, knowing how to do that, knowing the functionality. So let's go into a quick demonstration of Sora to see some of this stuff in action. So this is the Explore page. This is what you would land on if I was a student logging into, this is Blue Sky Academy. This is our Overdrive library here. So first, you'll notice that these are, we have a featured title here. So we can do this with your Sora collection. Pick a specific title, feature it right up at the top as kind of an eye-catching thing for the students to see. So we've done this with a sim use title for St. Patrick's Day, obviously. And through here, you'll see the collections that our staff librarians have created. So this is endless. You can really create as many curated collections as you want to. So really kind of targeting the initiatives that you want to fulfill at your school, really kind of helping to satisfy any standards you're trying to satisfy through these targeted curated collections for your schools. So students can obviously search through these, find a title in one of these curated collections. They can also go into preferences, limit their selection. So say you have a high school student that would see, every title in this collection. We can limit it to just general adult, which would be the high school students and teachers. And now, we're not going to see any of the juvenile, any of the young adult content. We're seeing just titles that I want to read as a high school. These settings are sticky. And so each time I would log in as a high school student, I would only see adult titles, so I don't have to keep selecting that setting here, which is great. You can also see the collections listed out in a list form if you don't want to go through all those curation boxes. I like those. I think they're attractive. Kind of organizes it really nice for you, but you can also see them in a listed out form here too. So I have checked out a book already. I have checked out Divergent, so I'm just going to open this up. You can see it's counting the content of the book here. So this is going to show up with a timestamp bar soon that will help me see where I'm at in the book, what chapters I'm in. And now this has popped up. So you can see now, if we go click on chapters, we can see and select through the chapters in the title. So we can skip through ahead to different chapters. If we're towards the end of the book, we can go back to a certain chapter if we want to reread something. Really simple like that. Can also switch this setting here from page number to percentage right here. And so this has been a popular question recently. How do I guide my students to be on the page that I want them to be on? Because you can also adjust reading settings, which I'll show you in a second. So here, if you just switch this to percentage, this is universal. Even if you have the font really huge, and the pages are almost doubled. If you just switch this to percentage, that's going to be a universal way for students to kind of follow along with where you're at in the book. So I am clicking through this title here simply by going over the left and right of the pages. And say I wanted to, I came across a word that I am unsure of. I can hover over it, just hold down my mouse button. I can define this word. I can scroll down and head to Google Translate. And I can see all of the languages available in Google Translate for this word. So really great for any students that are reading this title in English as their second language, or for uses with any foreign language classes where students are reading a foreign language title. It's a bit more advanced, a lot of those are. And so being able to go into Google Translate right away is really quick. I remember when I was taking Italian classes back in college and in high school, having a dictionary on one side of my lap and then the book on the other, having to go back and forth. This is a really simple time-saving way to be able to do this. So if I wanted to make a note about this book or about this word, I am going to hover over it again. And actually, there we go. And I'm going to highlight this word and just type in my note. So I'm going to save this. You can see the word is now highlighted. On the bottom, you can see a little colored tick mark here. That basically is a bookmark. I can see all of my notes and bookmarks up here on the right-hand side. And if I wanted to just search for this word or a character's name, say, through the book, I can do this as well. So a really easy way to see, when I'm reading sometimes, I like to read two books at once sometimes just to kind of keep my my mind moving a little bit. And sometimes I'll forget which character is which, or when the first mention of that character is. So we can type in the character's name and be able to see the first mention of that character. Usually that's where the description is for them, and just kind of get more background if we forgot kind of how they fit into the story. So up here on this letter, we can adjust the text size. We can also change the lighting for the book. You can see I'm in the sepia tone, this kind of neutral tone. can change it into dark or even a high contrast. This is what I generally read in, especially at night. It's just easier on the eyes for me and for most people, I think. But pairing this sepia tone with something like this open dyslexic font really helps those students, as I said earlier, with those reading cognition issues. So you can see here, it's spread out the words a little bit. It's made the font bigger. It's weighted those letters at the bottom. So really a lot easier for these students to be able to absorb this text. So great, obviously great for those students that have dyslexia or any sort of difficulty reading, but even to make sure that your students are aware of this, because they might not be so inclined to read a digital book. Maybe they're not a big reader as it is, but to show them this setting, this might be what they needed to be more comfortable reading, especially digitally. And so making sure all your students know that this setting is available is I think really, really key. Okay, so I'm going to close out this text. I'm going to go over to the home screen. You can see this is my loan right here. And if I had an assignment as a student, so any thing that is assigned to me from my librarian or my teacher as a title, or if I get a class set that is assigned to me from a teacher, that would appear up here. These are all my recently defined words. You can see these are the ones that I've recently done for Divergent. And here are all of my notes and highlights that are stored. You can see even my past books. So even after I return this title, I'll still have access to those notes and those highlights. And if I click on one of these selections here, I have the ability to, hey, there's Toby. Told you there'd probably be a cat. So I have the option to export this to PDF, CSV file, or via Google Drive, which is really simple for those Google schools. Go to my shelf, you'll see that this is my loan out here. I can also check my holds or any lists I've created for titles that I want to kind of keep track of. I want to point this out here. You can see this book is downloaded to my laptop right now. So I can take my laptop, I can go in the car, I can go to a place without Wi-Fi and still be able to read this book because it's downloaded to my device. So as long as you are borrowing a text that is, or an audiobook in a Wi-Fi setting, you'll be able to read that book without Wi-Fi, without internet, because it's going to be downloaded to your device, which is really important for those students that, as we are getting back into school, you'll have Wi-Fi access at school, but some of those students maybe don't have internet at home. Maybe it's a little bit of a weaker signal. You don't have to worry about them not having access to the book. So it really helps kind of level out that equity question with access to text for those students. Over on the Me tab, we'll see that I have my individualized reading settings here, or my reading statistics. And then this is the gamification aspect that is worked into Sora. So really great for those younger students. A lot of schools build a badge bingo off of this, which is a great way to motivate students. Up in this menu bar up here on the top right, I can add a public library. I'm in Lakewood, Ohio. I am going to search for my library. You can see it's part of ODL. This is my library. And now I'm looking at my public library's digital collection. So simple as that. It looks like Sora because it is Sora. We're just pulling in that digital collection from the public library. And so I'm going to just select one of these books here, click borrow. And then from here, I would select my branch. So I'd select Lakewood Public Library from here, put in my public library card information, or, which I'll get into in a second, if you're partnered with your public library through Public Library Connect, one of our services, then students would just put in their student identification. So their Sora username and password will help them borrow that text. And that's Sora in a nutshell, just a really quick demonstration there of how easy it is to use. So we have talked about how Sora supports 24/7 access, talked about the distance learning. Now I want to talk about the distance learning resources that Overdrive offers to help support that functionality in Sora. So Sora offers some no-cost books. This is a pilot option available to new schools. So this is 20 are 200 plus premium simultaneous use titles that are available at no cost. So this won't cost you anything. It's just a collection of titles that we offer to our new school partners. They're available for 1 year. If you would like to see what these titles are, or be able to sign up for, if you're a new school thinking about signing up for Sora, you can sign up for this Sora, we call it Sora Starter, right here at this link. And I'll leave that up for a little bit. So anyone that's viewing this, I know you can't click on the link, but you can write this link down. So in addition to Sora Starter titles, right now we're offering 100 Spanish titles for young readers from ebooks, audiobooks, and read-alongs. Also 50 diverse titles from Learner Publishing Group and Triangle Interactive. And then Duke Classics are also free to add. So they're $0 ads up until December of 2021. So all in all, if you're a school that is thinking of signing up for Sora, this covers about over 400 simultaneous use titles right off the bat that are available to you. If you're a current partner, you do have these titles in your collection. So you do have these Spanish titles, you have these diverse titles, you have access to these Duke titles. These were not added automatically, but it's a really simple process to add, the top 100 or so Duke Classic titles. There's about 4,000 in the collection. Really don't need all of them, but the top 100 or so are really good for curriculum use. To learn more about all of these resources, you can visit our curriculum resources page. I'll just hover over to see the link there. So now we know how Sora can help provide access. We know what free books are available to our partners and incoming partners. So what about promotion? You have access to all of these titles. There's Toby again. You have access to all these titles, or we can help you get access to them. But a large portion of getting the word out to students, especially if they are remote, is promoting. So we have this Overdrive Resource Center where marketing kits, ready-made marketing kits are available to you. In addition to these marketing kits, there are individualized pieces of promotional material. So bookmarks, flyers, posters, things that are formatted for social media, letters to parents, to teachers, templates that you can utilize, school announcements. All of that stuff is in there in this resource center, very, very easily accessible. And also I want to touch on School Stars. So this is our campaign that's running now through the end of March, where if you are a current partner, if you just signed up, if you're about to sign up, you can tell us how you're promoting Sora and then possibly win content credit, essentially money to use towards the purchase of books. And through this link too, we'll show you what schools have done in the past so you can get ideas of how to promote, especially how to promote to win money from us. So it's a great resource. So also through the Resource Center, there's a couple of different components to it, but we offer free staff training. So there are online webinars that happen usually about once a month or so. And so you can sign up for those live on-demand webinars. Even if you're not able to make it, you can sign up for it, and then a link to the recorded video will be sent to you. There are how-to videos that are longer format videos of all about Marketplace, our administrative portal, all about Sora. But then those videos are parceled out into smaller, easy to digest pieces that are under 7 minutes long. We also have e-learning modules covering more specifics regarding Sora, like class sets, like title assignments, and things like that. And we offer custom one-on-one training. So if you have a group of teachers that are really enthusiastic about Sora, but you just you don't know how to convey everything to convey to them that goes along with Sora and Overdrive, let us know, because then we can set up that training for you and help facilitate that. Another section of the Resource Center is collection development. So as I had mentioned, you do have a Overdrive librarian that is part of your team here that works with you to help keep your collection updated, build that collection, answer any questions you have. So along with their services they offer, we have a list of recommended titles that our librarians are consistently updating and working on to make sure that you have the best, most updated list that you can just go right in here, search these lists that are created, and just pick your titles from these generated lists. So you don't have to ask yourself, okay, I need comic and graphic books, but I don't know where to start. So just go in here, click on this link, and you'll be able to see the most popular comics and graphic books to add to your collection, because our librarians have done that work for you. We also have a few no-cost simultaneous use reading programs that happen throughout the year. A couple of the upcoming ones that I want to mention, Big Library Read. This is where we work with a publisher to provide a sim use title for roughly 2 weeks. That is available to both our school and library partners. This title is skewing more on the adult side, so we haven't added it automatically to any schools, but if you're a current school partner, you look up this title, you want it added to your collection, just reach out to me, let me know, we can do that. Sora Sweet Reads is our summer reading program. We've now expanded it so it covers a little bit more of those summer months. It used to start in June, now it's starting in May. When schools are still in session, to give you guys time to kind of get the word out to your students and teachers. This will be about 30 titles that are mostly elementary and middle school geared. There are going to be some high school titles in there as well, but great support for any summer reading program, especially as we're talking about that summer slump or any sort of learning loss that's going on from a lot of kids being hybrid or virtual. And then finally, we are partnering with Audiobook Sync again this year. This program starts on April 29th. And so this is a program where 2 audiobooks are available, I think it's per week, through Sora. So directly through Sora, you're just kind of integrating Audiobook Sync into Sora, and you'll have access to their audiobooks. And that about covers it. So I wanted to keep this short and sweet for everyone. I know all teachers are incredibly busy, so I appreciate you guys sticking around for this session, meeting one of my cats. If you schedule a training with me, who knows, there might be more animals that pop in. I also have a dog too, so only for the special partners that sign up for a training will you make an appearance. So to connect with me, you have my email there, bkowalczyk@overdrive.com. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and we also have a direct line too, which is that number down at the bottom there. So don't hesitate to reach out, especially as we are kind of working with schools that are applying for grants. We are able to assist with that process. Every one of your districts has money allotted from the federal government, so that is able to be accessed for every single district. You just have to apply. So if you have questions on how to do that, on how to assist your administrators that are doing that, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We can help out with that as well. So that concludes this session. Thanks again for sticking around, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.